everybody. Thank you so very much for tuning in this week to the Underlay Run podcast. And as you tune in this week, it's going to be Christmas week, and people are going to be excited for gifts and Stranger Things and so many other things happening. And so we really do appreciate you taking time to listen to this podcast and the guests that we'll have on. As a quick reminder, we are on the socials on Instagram and also TikTok. Very simple, Andale Run. And then also, of course, with the podcast, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also on YouTube as well. So you can always check it out in all those areas. And I am sure you will enjoy the guests that we have today and the conversation that we'll have. So with that there and that information out there, Abe, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest today?
Yes. So today we have on the podcast one of the best middle distance runners in the state of Illinois. Recently, he's run 14:07 for 3 miles in cross country, 4:14 in the 1600, 1:51 in the 800, 49:7 in the 4. Third at state this year in 3A cross country, second at state last year in the 800. This is Owen Horeni.
Well, hello, Owen. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we are super thrilled to have you on the show today. You have had some big news come out over the past few days. Why don't you go ahead and fill us in on what that is for maybe some of our listeners who don't know what happened?
Yep. So last Thursday, or I guess last Friday, I verbally committed to the University of Notre Dame to run track and cross country. So pretty big news. I'm super excited to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I have to say the picture you had in the Irish and the green and the gold looked really good on you. So
Yeah, thank you.
of course, that's awesome. The Fighting Irish. So that's huge news. It's always a big step, for high schoolers going from high school committing to D1 and everything. And so they've had some great runners there. Yared Nagus has run
Yep.
there, and so he's the bronze. Is that right? The bronze winner, right, Abe, for the Olympic 1500?
Yeah, bronze.
Yeah, bronze.
Silver. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So they've had some good runners there and good programs. So Owen, with that like being such a big, I would assume, relief for you, is would that
Yeah,
be
yeah.
right?
Relief is a great way to put it. It was a lot of like stress for the past few years, and then like once I finally like got that dialed in, I was kind of just like it all came to like all my hard work finally paid off. It was awesome. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So wait, you said the past couple of years, and so like
yeah.
when did that start?
So I believe so. I went out to um Nike Outdoor Nationals my sophomore year, and that's actually I believe June 15th or 16th was the day that the recruiting portal opened.
Okay.
So I was out there, and then I woke up one morning. I had like it's really informal the way that coaches contact you sometimes. I've gotten emails, but I've also gotten like Instagram DMs, and I've also gotten text messages and stuff. So it's a lot of everything. But that's where it started, and then from then on it's just been like a whole bunch of hey coach, how's it going, love to get on a phone call with you, into I'm really interested in the school, can I get on the visit, into okay, what are my next steps. So I think that it's been a lot of stress, but it's also been so much fun. Like I would never take this experience for granted. It's amazing. It's been amazing.
Wow.
So
Go ahead, Abe.
you mentioned Nike Outdoor Nationals. If I remember right, you ran 152 your sophomore year, right? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I believe it was 152.8. I kind of, I went 152.5 at state, 152.8, and then went 152 flat at state my junior year, and then 151. So I've been a little bit stuck, but my training plan is switching up, so I'm hopefully gonna get a good drop coming here pretty soon. So
Yeah, that'd be really good. So running 152 as a sophomore, like, and you said that's like about when the time the transfer, or not the transfer, the portal for like coaches reaching out opened up. So obviously running 152, that's blazing fast for a sophomore. So Was there like a lot of attention from coaches wanting you, or was it more you having to reach out to them?
Honestly, it was a lot more. It was a lot more of me having to reach out than I thought it was gonna be. So like there were a few teams that reached out to me, but then like the schools that I really wanted to be at, I had to reach out to. So, actually, one of the first coaches that did reach out to me was the Air Force Academy. And I used to like I was interested in that, and then I looked a little bit farther into it because they've had a decent program the last few years, but after that, it kind of fizzed out, and I wasn't really interested in them anymore. So then it became a lot more of me having contact schools and be like, hey, I'd love to run for you guys. How do we get this recruiting process started? So yeah.
Okay. So Owen, like, could you maybe, some of our listeners might be, getting to that stage of like thinking about college and, where to run. So how did you get the information for these schools that you wanted to run at?
So honestly, it's a lot of just like having that knowledge of where, like, what schools are good, obviously.
Right.
But I just honestly I just Googled a lot of places. I would like Google. I'd just be like, for like Notre Dame, I just Google Notre Dame track and field recruiting questionnaire, and then pop up, and I'd fill that out, and then from there I'd go to like their team page, and I'd check their coaches, get their emails, and I'd send out an email. And I had a email that I would send out, and it was just like a little bit of like about me, like my GPA, my ACT, my SAT, my times, all that stuff. And then I'm not sure if very many people do this, but I added like a link to my
Oh,
video for my race and
okay.
state. So I wasn't sure if that was gonna work, but ended up working
Yeah.
out all right. So
No, that's awesome. So for Notre Dame, like you reaching out to them, what was it about Notre Dame that you were just like, man, I'd like to run there?
my biggest thing has always been coaches. I've had great coaches throughout my 4 years at high school. And I think that coaches and then like teammates. So obviously
Mm,
like your experience with them is going to make or break your experience overall. Like no matter how fast you run, like you're a 355 guy and you don't have a good team, then you're not enjoying it, like you have
yeah.
to have fun with it, and that's my biggest thing. So I think that my biggest thing about Notre Dame was definitely the coaches. I love the coaches. I love the campus too. So I took a visit out there a few weeks ago. That's what really sold me on it. I love that campus. Everything is. I'm not sure very many people know this, but campus is centered around the football field. So like
Oh,
the academic wing, like the academic quads, are up over here, and then the athletic quads are down over here. So it's pretty sweet, the way that's all laid out. The track, like they have a really nice track house is what they call it. So it's like it's got the locker rooms, it's got some treadmills, and then obviously like everybody knows their indoor track,
all
one of
right.
the biggest and one of the best in the nation. So that really sold me on it was the facilities too. So I think that it's just like everything coming together to make that experience work well for me. So
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. I mean, you mentioned the coaches and everything. So, were you able or did you formulate like questions that you wanted to ask the coaches as were on this search?
yeah, so obviously one of my biggest questions was just like, what's your coaching philosophy? Like, what do you like to
Mm,
do for like the guys? Because Notre Dame's they don't have many sprinters, and that's on purpose. They don't
yeah.
they don't look for sprinters to recruit. So their biggest thing was definitely just giving everybody an individualized training plan, and I was really looking forward to that too. So definitely their coaching philosophies, and then like their past, like where are
Mm,
you coming from? Because obviously these guys are gonna be my coaches for the next 4 years. I want to know that like they've had experience, they've had like, and then obviously just being personable. So like background, definitely introduced me to a lot of coaches. My high school coach actually knew like the K-State coach, and then it just introduced me to a whole bunch of other coaches too. So I think that that's really been a big thing, is just like those connections, and then the backgrounds of the coaches. So
sure. So it sounds like your high school coach kind of helped maybe guide you a little bit with
yeah,
some of
yeah.
that.
So I'm in an interesting situation. My cross country coach and my track coach aren't the same people. So
Okay.
I have to switch back and forth between my training plans, semester to semester, like season to season. So I really like appreciated both of my coaches for being there for me. They've given me essentially they've given me the same advice, but really their big thing for me is like they've both seen they've both seen like my successes, and they've both seen like, obviously like when I'm at my lows. So they both are just like, just go somewhere where you'll enjoy it, and you'll become a better runner. And obviously like academics is a huge thing for me too. So they were both like, do that too. Like
Yeah.
don't forget about that. So
Sure. Yeah. No, that's, I mean, that's great. Notre Dame really is great academically as well. Do you have any idea of what you'd like to study? I mean, I know you're going as a freshman, so.
yeah, so I'm looking into finance right now. I know I want to major in something in the business field.
Okay.
They don't really have like an overarching business major, which makes sense. But I think I'm still trying to figure out, because obviously like Notre Dame has a really good 1 year grad program as well. So I'm looking into potentially staying for a 5th year and doing that. And if not, I'm potentially considering going to law school to become a lawyer.
Oh.
And with a law degree, I can become like an NFL agent,
Oh yeah.
anything like that, which would be super cool. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure yet, but yeah.
Yeah. So you could actually help out Grand Slam track, and all the stuff that's if
Yeah,
they're
that's a
if
little
they're
bit that's a
around.
little bit rough.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, but I mean that, thank you so much for sharing that, because that is a lot of course, there are probably a lot of our listeners that will be approaching that, the whole recruitment side, and how they go about doing that. And so any kind of feedback or any kind of advice, what others are doing is always a good thing. So
Yeah. And I think another big thing is obviously just like don't take it for granted, because this like you only get to go through the recruiting process once. Like sure, if you're gonna go to grad school to run, you get to go through it again. But really, like you have one opportunity to go on these visits and to like talk to these coaches for the first time. So that's my biggest thing is don't take it for granted. Like these coaches
mm,
are gonna try to sell you their school, and listen to them because they might have something good to say. So I
yeah,
think that's one of my biggest things. I got to be on a I got to go out to Washington D.C. I got to head out to California to visit Stanford. Um, I've been to University of Illinois a few times too. Obviously, it's just pretty close. So I think that's my biggest thing is just like take these opportunities as they come.
yeah,
Just appreciate them. So
yeah. No, that's great. So it sounded like Stanford was in the mix for you. Yeah,
yeah, so it was it's expensive. Obviously, Notre
yeah,
Dame's expensive. Notre Dame got me on some scholarship, which I'm very appreciative for. But Stanford is just expensive, and it's really far away from home. Illinois to
yeah,
California is not a short flight. 5 hours, so it's just I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do that. And be like obviously like mentally stable, because obviously I'm pretty big, like I probably get homesick, I know that. So it's
mm,
kind of just like being 2 hours away from home at Notre Dame is like is perfect for me.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's
So
awesome, awesome. I mean, again,
yeah,
congratulations on that.
yeah, thank you.
That's really good. And so, Owen, I was doing a little bit of homework and everything, and when I came across some of that, there's something I came across that said I think there was you were talking about how the Palatine Distance Night was probably may have been one of your favorite races because you came from behind. Can you walk us through like what was going on? I was trying to find a video. I don't know if I ever found a video, but I'm
Yeah,
curious.
so my sophomore year at Palatine, I guess I'll just walk through the entire race. So I started. So they do a super lane format. So it's 2 lanes. And I was on the outside lane. I was the second seed because I believe Foster Shelbert was racing there. I think he was still racing, so he would have been a senior. Um, so and I just did not get out well enough.
Mm,
I got out slow. I got stuck in the way back of the pack. It was really it was it was challenging. I was a little bit scared for a second there. I went through two. I think it was like 25, which isn't anything. But it's definitely like I normally go out. I try to go out low 24s, but came around two at 25, and then got through the four. I think it was 57 or 58, and it was really rough. And I was in last, and that's where I started. I was like, if I really want to win this, I'm gonna have to get moving. So
Yeah.
that's when I kind of like shuffled myself out of the back of the pack, and I was just like I started moving my way up around, and I actually passed almost the entire pack on the back straight. Went through 600. I want to say like 123 ish, maybe 124.
Okay.
I was moving there, and then I felt like I had it the entire second half. So I think I negative split that. I think I went 58, 55, maybe 57, 56. But it was really just like it was challenging. It was mentally tough, but it was also just like really fun because it was like I'm confident now. Like I know what I can do. So I just got to make sure that I keep, maybe don't put myself in the position where I have to go from last to first again. But other
Yeah.
than that, I think that's one of my big things. So yeah, I
Mhm.
really do enjoy that meet every year. I don't want to jinx myself here, but I've never lost at that meet. I won the freshman mile my freshman year, won the 800 the past 2 years. So obviously don't want to jinx myself. Don't want to get
Sure.
too much on a high horse here, but knock on wood, I won again this year, so we'll see.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good.
I
Yeah.
was
If
gonna
you
say,
have,
yeah, yeah. Like talking about that come from behind victory. Is that like your preferred style of racing? Do you like to sit back or do you like to hammer from the front?
I love hammering it from the front. That's like mentally I love that, but I've noticed myself being more comfortable at the back, like sit and kick type of race.
Mm.
But mentally it's just a lot more like calming for me to be at the front because I'm like I know that I'm in control and I'm the one leading the race. So I like Nike Outdoors this past year. I was at the front the entire, my PR. I was at the front the entire race. Um, it was really nice. I had my dad at the 150, telling me, cheering me on. And if you watch a video of it, you actually see him. He has got like a bright orange umbrella, and he's yelling at me. So it was really nice. It was actually super cool because he's always done that at state for me too. He's at the 200 mark at state, yelling at me, telling me what I need to do. So I think that's another big thing is just like I love having my dad support me. It's super awesome.
yeah, that's awesome. Uh, does your family race? Are they runners, or how did you get into it?
So, my parents, my mom ran cross country in high school. My dad ran track in high school, and then my dad went to college for soccer and wrestling
Okay.
at Cornell
Okay.
College out in Iowa. Um, and then once they graduated, they were still active. So they both ended up like getting into running, like distance running and half marathons and stuff like that. So I ended up just finding myself tagging along with them. I started running for my school, like through my district in fifth grade because we had like an intramural cross country team for my elementary school, and then ever since then I've just been consistently finding myself like enjoying it and having fun with it. So yeah, definitely got into it through my parents.
Okay.
And then right now, um, I have two younger brothers. They're both sophomores this year. So my one brother Zane, he is he runs the 200 and he long jumps too.
Okay.
So and then my other brother Asher, he throws shot and disc. So he
Okay.
plays football. He's a pretty big guy. But my brother Zane play soccer too. So
Okay. Yeah.
hopefully
So
looking for a move to the 4 and the 8 for him this year. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. So, when A was telling me about your like your times and everything, I was like, wow. I mean, those are those are not slow times at all.
no, yeah.
Yeah, you're moving, and so I'm wondering like with track, like how did you, because it sounds like you do like more the 800, like how did you settle on like, you know what, I'm going to go to that event rather than like the 16 or the 32.
Yeah, so I've always found myself with speed. I ran the 400 in the mile in middle school because middle school order of events is different than high school, so it's not
Yeah.
really possible to run the 4 and the 8, and obviously nobody's like it's really hard to build a base when you're in middle school, so I ended up just finding myself sticking with the four, racing that with the speed I had, and then running the mile with whatever I had left. So then once I got to high school, my coach was like, "How have you not raced an 800?" I'm like, I couldn't tell you. I've never really focused on it. So I got into the 8, got into that, and then it's just been everything else from there. So, obviously, cross helps me a whole bunch. I love racing cross country. I think that my favorite thing about cross is, the team, because I feel like it's a smaller team. It's so much more tight knit. So, I think that's what got me to sell on it, is just having that. I feel like I have a great mix of, that endurance and that speed work. So,
Yeah.
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 Obviously, you're a pretty good 800-meter runner, but for a second, I'd like to talk about your cross country. Your sophomore year, uh, your PR is 14:28, if I remember right. But is that
yeah, junior year, I went 14:28. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah?
Sophomore
But
year, I think it was 14:59 or something. I had barely broken 15.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, your last year you're in 14:28, and before that you barely broke 15. So, like, and then this year, you're in 14:07 in the state meet after running 14:40 earlier. So, like,
Yeah,
where's
yeah.
like, all that that peaking and that going crazy at the state meet every year? Where does that come from?
Yeah. So, I really do think it's just my training plan. Obviously with my track season going so deep into the summer, with Nike Outdoors, and then maybe some more meets this summer. We'll see. I think that it's just my training. It's just I build that base through the second half of summer, where most guys build it through the first half, and get workouts done during the school year. And then I think that the way that my coach structures it, it's just really easy for me. I find myself peaking at the state meet, but it's also been frustrating the past few years. This past summer, I broke my toe,
Mm.
which sounds a little bit stupid, but it happens. So it's just like a stupid little freak thing, and broke my toe, and then last cross country season, I actually had COVID for. I want to say,
Uh,
like, I had COVID for like 2 weeks, and then I had, like, long COVID or whatever
Yeah,
for, I want to say, like, it took me like a month to get back into it, because I finally got hit back into it at sectionals of my junior year. So, but yeah, I think that's where it comes from, is just my training plan, and then maybe getting unfortunate the past few years with not being able to showcase my I guess not being able to showcase my progress earlier, but definitely my training plan.
yeah,
yeah. So I mean when Abe told me what you ran at state, I was like, wow, that because I
Yeah.
it was seeing what was run earlier, and I mean that it was a huge drop. So I mean, kudos to you. That's great. I mean
Yeah,
again
thank you.
nothing to sneeze at. So it was really really good.
Yeah.
Um, so Owen, with you're in your senior year, of course, of high school. A question that I had was, looking back, right? Looking back at your, because you still have your track season coming up, um, and everything. So, but looking back at your career, your high school career, what do you think is a moment that changed you, not just as an athlete, but also as a person?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I think um I think it was my it's really early in my career. I feel like I have a few of these.
Okay.
I have to say my first one is, so my freshman year. We were transitioning from my old coach to my new coach. I actually had never ran under the old coach, but the new coach is the one that I run under currently. So we were transitioning. It was definitely difficult. Like, it was a difficult switch for a lot of the older guys. But we were set to have a really good 4x4 that year. So, we had me, and then we had two guys. One of them was a 300 hurdler, and one of them was a sprinter who, never ran anything over a 200 before. And then
Okay.
Josh Pugh, obviously, I feel like some people know that name. He's at Iowa now. He's ran 46 low in the four,
Okay.
so he split 46 state. So I think that one of my biggest defining moments was that state meet. We had a very good season. We were undefeated all season. And then we won the state meet. And I think that's my biggest thing is that was one of my biggest moments was that like seeing how successful I could be as an individual and also as a team. So that was super fun. It was a come from behind win. Josh
Mm.
propelled us. He split 46 or something insane.
Wow.
So
Okay.
but yeah, so I think that's got to be my first one. And then I think my second one, honestly, I think it's got to be junior year state for track. That obviously getting second in the 800. Um, Walking through that race, I've walked through that race in my mind like a million different times. It kind of just lives. It's kind of just like a reminder of, like, and my coach and I had talked about it. Months beforehand and like talked about, but I guess we've talked about the race months beforehand, but we talked about my strategy a few days before, and it was just like my biggest thing that I get jumpy and I want to like jump the gun and I want to start pushing as soon as I can. But my biggest thing that race was definitely to stay patient, and I thought I'd stay patient long enough, but I didn't. So I think that it's just like that's a testament to, not everybody's perfect. Not everybody can execute on every day. So I came back and got my time that I really wanted. Would have won at Nike Outdoors. So I think that getting second impacted me in ways that I wouldn't be able to describe if it hadn't happened to me. Um, I think that it was kind of just like it was kind of just you can still lose. Like
Mhm.
you're not like the best, obviously, and it's kind of just like like physically too. It's kind of just like I knew I was in shape for faster, and I just couldn't execute on the day, and that's okay. Like it happens, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things that some people need to realize too is it's just like if you don't have a good day, you don't have a good day, and that's
Yeah.
okay too. So. But
Yeah, for
yeah, I
sure.
think that those are two moments that really define me as a runner and as a person. So
Okay. All right. Abe, you had a
yeah,
question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, everybody has like bad races or bad moments like that. I myself have lost races I was supposed to win. It's gonna happen to everybody. But
right.
when that does happen, like getting second at state, would you say that you use that as like motivation, like for future races, like this past season and for future seasons?
Yeah, I'd say I use it as motivation and also like reflection. So it's definitely kind of just like I try to focus more. I use it as motivation slightly, but I try to focus on my goals more as motivation. So, anytime I have a rough workout, I had a workout today. I had 3 by broken mile. I had 5 by 1K on Monday or Tuesday, but I had 3 by broken mile. I was 4 up, 2 down, 4 up, 2 down, 4 up. And it was super windy, and on the home straight. So it was difficult. And I just kind of just had to keep telling myself, like, remember what you want to do this season and like remember what happened last season. So it's definitely, I think, motivation, and then also reflection is kind of just like, it's like it's a learning experience. Like I didn't split the way I wanted to. I didn't move the way I wanted to. I didn't get around get around in the way I wanted to. So it was kind of just like reflection, learning, and then obviously, yeah, motivation is a big one. So
Okay. So along with this ties into what you were just talking about, Owen. So like, how has running shaped like how you handle pressure, whether that's in races, school, or life?
yeah, so obviously I feel like the feeling of being on the line at a race is unmatched. That all that adrenaline pumping is just something that I feel like it can't be recreated. Maybe it can. I just haven't experienced it yet, but I have a pretty good feeling it can't be. So I think it's helped me because I've realized that like the world's not gonna end if I do bad. It's everything happens for a reason. It's like dealing with that pressure of needing to have that good race or needing to hit these times, or even like outside like a presentation in school. Like it's kind of just like even if I do bad, the world is not going to end tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of just like a soother. It's like, well, this is gonna happen. You're gonna do it, but no matter what's gonna happen, it's gonna be okay at the end. So I think it's kind of just like me looking in the future and being able to handle like the pressure of it by saying that it's all gonna be okay in the end. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. Just, having that, remembering, hey, it's going to work. Something's
yeah,
going to work out.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's good.
Hey,
Yeah,
did
it's like
you?
it's not end all be all, but yeah, I was gonna say something to Owen because I was told by a friend that last year you won the eggnog mile in Caneland, and because I'm actually going to that event this weekend, I'm gonna be doing the Sprite cranberry Sprite mile because I don't,
mm.
but like the eggnog mile obviously is not serious. You get to compete, but you get to have fun. And like, what are some other things in running that you do to like have it keep it fun and keep it lighthearted sometimes?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm not running the eggnog mile this year. Didn't get my $5 in on time, I guess, but it's okay. I, I'll be honest, I did not feel great for the next few days. It was sitting pretty heavy in my stomach. I was like, you know what? I can have my glory. I went 4:48 in an eggnog mile, so can't be mad about that. But I think obviously like stuff like that keeps it fun. My cross country team, we have a fantasy football league, and the loser has to run a milk mile. So
Mhm.
I think that keeps it fun too. I don't have to run a milk mile. Didn't lose, it's pretty awesome. But
That's good.
and then I think just focusing like I'm my best friend. He's been graduated for a few years. He doesn't run anymore, but I made my best friend through running too. And I think it's just finding those friends that are gonna help you get through every day. Um, I feel like there's a lot like I feel like I'm like drawing a blank here, but there's so many ways to have fun through running. Just like I don't know. It sounds kind of corny, but just like playing pretend. Like I'm oh man, like I'm lining up for a workout. And I'm like man, it's state like I'm racing like for the state title right now, and I'm just like pretending that like, and even if I'm running the same speed, it's kind of just like, oh well, I need to win now, so it's kind of just like I need to hit this time. So it's I think there's so many ways to have fun. It's just like finding the way that works for you, and finding the way that you and I have fun. So
Yeah. It's good.
yeah,
We like to have fun. I like to have fun. So,
oh
keep
yeah,
things a little
yeah,
lighthearted. So Owen, we one of the things that we like to do is just ask a couple of questions to kind of help get to know you a little bit more. They're not really necessarily running related. They're just
yeah.
fun questions. So,
Mhm.
so for like right now, what is maybe your what's on your playlist, the top three artists or songs that you're listening to?
Man, okay, so actually, let's see. I'm a big like rock guy, like '90s rock. So I've got Alice in
Okay.
Chains on there. Alice in Chains on
Okay.
there right now. Limp Bizkit, and then man, my third. I gotta go Linkin Park here.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
top. I guess those are top three artists, but
Okay.
I guess I drive in the summer I drive a car that only has a CD player and like an
Okay.
FM and radio, so I have to burn my own CDs, learn how to do that a few summers ago, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, it definitely just introduced me to a lot more music than I thought. So
Okay. So, Limp Bizkit, what is your favorite song right now by them?
I love Nookie,
Okay.
obviously, and then I think Behind Blue Eyes is a really good one. It's not like their normal style,
Sure.
but Behind Blue Eyes is a really good one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this next question. Uh, so if you had to choose which team you would be on, which one would you choose? So the teams are either Marvel or DC.
Oh, Marvel, 100%. I
Marvel.
would love to be Marvel. Yeah.
Uh, all right. All right. So who's your man, or who's your character, I should say, in Marvel?
Oh, I think I'd have to say Thor. I'd have to go Thor here.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
love the Thor movies. I love the Thor movies, and
Yeah.
I think that he's just got such a cool backstory. I'd
Yeah.
have to go Thor.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
which out of his movies, which ones would you say? Man, I could watch this one over and over again.
I think Thor Ragnarok,
Okay. Yep.
definitely the big one, or obviously just like the original Thor,
Yeah.
just like the OG. So I think both of those are really good. I could just watch them like to no end. So
Okay. Nice. Nice.
yeah.
Okay. All right. And so then, this one I noticed, I from my homework was Uh, so do you enjoy doing like water skiing?
Yeah. So we've got a lake house up in Michigan. My grandparents do, so we head up there every so often. So yeah, I water ski, I wakeboard, wake surf,
Okay.
all that good stuff. So it's super fun. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
any advice, because I have tried water skiing and it is not easy to get up and like to hold
Right.
on. So like any advice about like how to approach that?
Um, just imagine I think my biggest thing is just imagine you're sitting in a chair, underwater, and it's just like the boat's gonna pull you no matter what. So it's kind of just like, leveraging your skis out and getting up. And then just once you're up, just imagine you're sitting in a chair. And I think that's my biggest thing is that's what I've always been told. Just imagine you're sitting in a chair literally the entire time. The boat's gonna do all the work. And
Okay.
then tips up. Always keep your tips up.
Tips up.
So
Tips up. I have to remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right. All right. Awesome. So, are you? And I think I saw you were doing the Misfits indoor. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, so I'll be doing every year without fail. I'll run the 600 and the 300 there. It's just, it's early speed work. The 300, I love racing 300s. I like never get to sprint in season, so it's kind of just like a nice it's kind of just a nice indicator of where my speed's at. The 6 is obviously like the 6 has been competitive there for years. Will Sumner's national record was set there.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
So, Owen, thank you again so much for coming on. Like Abe said, we really do appreciate your time and the conversation and everything. And so, for those who are listening, just want to say thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great holiday season. And we look forward to seeing, hopefully, many of you out at the different track meets, indoor and outdoor, as that's coming upon us. And we do that. So remember to follow us on the socials, TikTok, Instagram. We're also on YouTube. If you would, it would help us out tremendously to give us a follow on Spotify and or Apple and give us a rate. That would help us out tremendously. So thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great Christmas. And I will say, I hope everybody has a great week and andale. So we'll talk to you guys later.